You failed at being what they needed. They say you failed, but that depends on who's telling the story. You failed to prove their lies were true. You failed to make their version of events look believable. You failed to make somebody look better by disappearing from your own life. You failed to become the evidence they needed to justify how they treated you. You failed at being an energy source for habitual liars, manipulators, and sabotagers. You failed at being somebody's flunky. You failed at staying in the background while other people used your silence to build themselves up. You failed at being the victim forever. You failed at being stagnant. You failed at remaining weak in places where life was forcing you to grow. You failed at letting the fear of being alone keep you chained to people who were never loyal to you or your well-being. You failed at becoming everything negative they said about you. That is the failure they are angry about. You did not become bitter enough to prove them right. You did not become broken enough to make their cruelty look justified. You did not stay confused long enough for their manipulation to keep working. You failed at making their lies look like discernment. You failed at giving sabotagers a clean ending. You failed at collapsing on schedule. You failed at remaining easy to control, easy to blame, easy to drain, easy to send back into old patterns. You failed at living beneath your own capacity just so insecure people could feel better, taller, standing next to you. That is why the accusations came. Because once you stop cooperating with dysfunction, people who benefited from your self-betrayal start calling your growth a problem. They call your boundaries arrogance. They call your distance coldness. They call your clarity rebellion. They call your refusal selfishness. But what they really mean is this: you are no longer useful to the lie. You are no longer available for exploitation. You are no longer volunteering to carry projections that never belong to you. You are no longer helping broken people maintain false images at your expense. You failed at being a follower. You failed at being intimidated by isolation. You failed at staying asleep to what your spirit kept showing you. You failed at returning to places that only felt like love because pain had become familiar. Good. Some failures are holy. Some failures are survival. Some failures are the best, first honest thing a person does after years of being shaped by guilt, fear, and manipulation. You did not fail at life. You failed at being who they needed in order for their dysfunction to keep working. You failed at proving them right. You failed at becoming the ruin they predicted. You failed at staying small enough for their comfort. And now, they are left standing in front of the one thing they never planned for. A version of you that did not break the way they hoped. So, who's the failure now?
End of message.